I got a call this week from somebody who is interested in becoming a home inspector. And they wanted to know my feelings about the profession, where I thought the profession was going, and just some thoughts about what I liked about it. And I told them that the biggest thing that I really like about it is that I go into a house and I actually educate the buyer of the property about what's going on with a home that they're thinking about buying. And sometimes we uncover big stuff. Sometimes it's big nasty things. Other times it's not so much. But it's knowing that I'm going in objectively. I'm doing a good service. I'm working hard. I'm providing a good, honest service for someone looking to buy a home, and then educating them and bringing to light some of the problems that they may not know about in the house that they're thinking about buying. Look, this is a tough career. It's not easy. And what most people don't understand is that home inspection, the actual process of doing the home inspection, is maybe 35% of the actual job. The rest of the job is marketing and getting the phone to ring and acquiring business, and then doing follow-ups and customer retention, and then answering emails and questions from customers, and then working with attorneys and doing all those behind the scenes things that you don't really see. All you see is sort of the fun stuff, the going into the house, to looking at the systems, finding the problems. But the majority of the job is actually behind the scenes and working with clients and giving them support behind the scenes. And that's really important. As an independent home inspector, I really need to do my own marketing. So the way people find me is either word of mouth, or they find me online. Like you guys probably found this video. That's really the only way people find me. And if you choose to do things the way I do them as an independent home inspector, and not marketing to third parties, because I want to be completely objective and independent when I go into a property, it's actually much, much harder to do this business the way that I choose to do it. But I think this is the right way to do it. This is the right way to do it for my customer. This is the right way to protect my customer, long term. And I've been successful for 22 years, and this is my 23rd year. There's been a lot of ups and downs for sure. This year, more challenging than most, but we'll work through it. We'll grind through it. We're still really working hard in all aspects of the business. And I really appreciate that. It makes you stronger. It makes you grow. There's always something more to learn. So here I have another defects video, the things that I found last week doing home inspections here in New Jersey. Take a look. Maybe you can relate some of these things to a house that you live in. Maybe you can relate to some of these things with a house that you're buying. Thank you for listening. Let's take a look and see what we have. I don't know if you can see it or not in this video, but this portion of the house, this left side addition, is sinking. So it's going down to the left side here. We're built on piers. We have water collection from the downspout in the back, putting water right on the foundation or pier. Over here, we have no gutter. Water is just collecting along the front of the wall. So our structure is moving this way. And that's a major structural concern. I'm not sure you can see it in the video, but when we have this type of thing, it's something that we really should have an engineer come out to look at this, just to assess what's happening and what type of stabilization needs to be performed here. Federal Pacific electrical breaker panel. I know that from the look of these orange breakers right here. Also inside here, it's going to say Federal Pacific Electric Company. These panels date back from the 50s and 60s. This company is out of business due to class action lawsuits, something that definitely should be replaced for fire safety hazards. Here we have a singed wire in this Federal Pacific electrical panel box. This could be caused by an overcurrent condition. We understand that this panel box is one of the ones that should be replaced for fire safety hazards. And when we see something like this, it even reinforces our belief that these panels are unsafe, and this definitely should be replaced. An electrical contractor should determine if that circuit should come out and be replaced. Here we have a backyard retaining wall in structural failure. You can see that the wall is being pushed over. And the reason why these walls fail is that we have a slope here. Our water is running to the wall, and it's actually pushing the wall over, creating this problem. So this wall is a replacement. The framing in this crawl space has roughly 100% moisture content. And you can see that if I throw a moisture meter on here, lots of moisture because we have definitely water infiltration in the crawl space. If we look at you can just poke through the wood members here because they're all rotted. Look at that. Problematic for sure. Major issues here. You probably can't see it in the video, but this wall right here from about the center portion up is pushing this way. So the wall is out about an inch right from the center portion to the ceiling right here. I put a level on it and it's clearly visible. I'm not sure it's visible in the video though. So this is probably something that's going to have to be reinforced. As a home inspector, I can just report on what I see. I'm not an engineer. So they should bring an engineer in order to determine a fix. And the fix is probably the installation of carbon fiber straps about every 6 feet down the length of this garage wall. This is a smoke pipe from a gas furnace, and we see this big gap here. We have this little, sort of this block to hold the smoke pipe in place, but this can let carbon monoxide into the house. So this actually is a safety hazard. That should be completely sealed up so we don't blow carbon monoxide backwards and into the home, causing a significant safety hazard. So this for sure has to be corrected. I'm laying on my stomach in this crawl space and we see this water just laying here. So definitely a water infiltration problem. Crawl space probably floods. We have a lot of mold growth, wood rot throughout the framing and the beam. So major structural problems in this house. 1960s house, and we always like to see if we can pull back a little sample and get a little bit of a view of what's under the carpeting. And it looks like we have some probably asbestos containing tiles here. Now this is not a huge deal. We're not really supposed to drive this tack strip through the asbestos tiles, but that's been done already. The problem happens is when we try to remove these tiles, when we cause mechanical damages to these tiles. So not a huge crisis, but definitely something to think about when you're buying an older home. Make sure you look under that basement carpeting, especially in Cape Cod houses. And Cape Cod houses, second floor bedrooms tend to see a lot of this material in those types of houses. So probably asbestos tiles right here. This is a top of a water heater, and we see a lot of corrosion on the inlet here. So our cold water comes in here, our hot water comes out here, but we have a lot of corrosion. This is an area that is vulnerable to leakage. So when a water heater leaks, it usually leaks from this top area right here, or it leaks from the bottom, around the seam at the bottom. But if we look close here, these plastic covers right here that indicate cold water, the blue, you see it's deformed right here. And if we see this one as well, this is the hot side. We see the plastic is deformed, and that's because flue gas is coming out of here where it shouldn't come out of. So this is a draft hood, so we have a little bit of exhaust gas that's coming out of here, and it's melting these fittings, which is an indication of a poorly drafting unit. So that should be checked because we don't want to have that exhaust gas come back into the home and cause problems. Toxic gas, it's very unsafe. Carbon monoxide is a big problem. So this is something that we're going to bring to the attention of the client. And the water heater is like 12 years old. So we're really a little bit past its life expectancy anyway. So we'll probably just recommend replacement very near term on this water heater unit. We're supposed to have an R38 rating in the Northeast here in New Jersey for attic insulation. And we see this is a house from the 60s, and we definitely don't have enough insulation in the attic. So we're going to tell our client, obviously, to improve the insulation. This insulation should be about 13 to 15 inches, And we really shouldn't be seeing these floor joists here or these ceiling joists exposed like that. And we can kind of, what I like to do is just kind of pick this up a little bit and just see what we have in here. And we see that it's only maybe 3.5 inches, something like that. It's not very fluffed. It's very compressed. It won't be very effective at controlling heat loss up through the attic space. So just a nice upgrade and something we'll bring to light in the home inspection report.